The 4 spot. They've evolved. Before the NBA play style became positionless, the 4 was your team's bully. They would do the dirty work. But when Dirk Nowitzki came to the league, finesse became as crucial as muscle. From the old school bruisers to the modern day stretch 4s, the power forward has seen its fair share of all-time greats. But the question remains, who's the greatest power forward of all time? In this video, we'll show the top 10 power forwards of all time, so stay till the end to see who's crowned as the best power forward in history. Number 10, Dennis Rodman. Kicking this list off with one of the greatest rebounders in NBA history. Despite standing just 6'7", Dennis Rodman hustled his way to 11,954 rebounds and averaged 13.12 rebounds per game. What's his secret? Dennis Rodman quoted, "I'm hungrier than those other guys out there. Every rebound is a personal challenge." This hunger drove him to lead the league in rebounding average for 7 consecutive years. In those 7 seasons from 91 to 98, he had 33 games in which he grabbed at least 25 rebounds. No other player did it more than 4 times in that span. But Rodman was not just a rebounder, he was also a great defender. A 2-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year and one of the few guys in NBA history who could guard all 5 positions. He's the type of guy that would do everything except be a primary scorer. Rodman was a standout member of the Bad Boys Pistons and the Bulls' second three-peat. Rodman is a 5-time NBA champion, but most importantly, Dennis Rodman is the best rebounder in the 4 position. Number 9, Anthony Davis. AD's meteoric rise was sparked by an unanticipated growth spurt. He was just a 6'3" point guard when he started high school. He was a nobody, completely unranked and unnoticed. But during his sophomore year, he experienced a crazy 7-inch growth spurt. Suddenly, Davis established himself as a force to be reckoned with on the court. Davis became a giant with the skills of a point guard. The late great Kobe Bryant recognized that in 2014 when he said, "Anthony Davis is an athletic Pau Gasol." That's the best way I can put it forward. He can be one of the greatest power forwards of all time. Now at just 29 years old, Anthony Davis already has Hall of Fame credentials. He's a 4-time All-NBA First Team, 4-time All-Defensive Team, 8-time All-Star, and a member of the NBA 75th Anniversary Team. He's also one of the few players who's a Triple Crown holder, winning the NCAA title, Olympic gold medal, and NBA championship. AD still has many years to move up this list, but his durability and injury concerns might hinder him. But even if he retires today, Anthony Davis is a winner, and he's one of the greats. Number 8, Elvin Hayes. Elvin Hayes started and ended his legendary career with the Rockets, averaging 21 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game. He was a 12-time All-Star, a 6-time All-NBA member, and a 1-time NBA champion. However, it was with the then Washington Bullets in the 1977-78 season that Hayes won his only championship. For 16 years, Hayes only missed 9 games, and he's played for a total of 50,000 minutes throughout his career. Aside from that, Hayes was selected as one of the 50 greatest players in NBA history in 1996 and was a part of the 75th Anniversary Team. Hayes is one of only 5 players to hold career averages of at least 21 points and 12 rebounds, with the others being Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, George Mikan, and Bob Pettit. In addition, he led the league in scoring once in 1968-69 and rebounding twice in 1969-70 and 1973-74. But Hayes never won NBA MVP. Still, no MVPs, no worries. His stat line alone proves he's one of the greatest power forwards of all time. Number 7, Bob Pettit. Bob Pettit's career was relatively brief, but he made the most of his 11 seasons in the NBA, averaging 26.3 points and 16.2 rebounds a game. This ranks him 9th in points per game and 3rd in rebounds per game, after only Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell. Pettit ranks 19th in total rebounds despite only having played 11 seasons. People will argue that competition was weaker compared to now, which is why a player like Pettit could have a season where he averaged 30 points and 18 rebounds. However, keep in mind that some of Pettit's rivals included Bill Russell, Bob Cousy, Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson, and Jerry West. With only 8 teams in the league at the time, and those players sprinkled throughout, Pettit's 26 points and 16 rebounds are impressive. He's also 4th all-time in rebounds per game for the playoffs with 14.8 rebounds per game, and 19th in points per game for the playoffs with 25.4 points. just one rank lower than the late great Kobe Bryant. Along with that, Pettit won the league MVP twice and a championship with the then St. Louis Hawks in 1958. Number 6. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis Antetokounmpo's career is far from over, yet he has already built quite a resume that rivals anyone on this list. At 27 years old, Giannis is a two-time league MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, NBA champion, and Finals MVP. He's called the Greek Freak because of his freakish length and athleticism that enables him to power through opponents like Shaq when he's inside the paint. Aside from that, he can protect the ball and make passes all around the court like a guard. Giannis is effortlessly dominating today's league full of three-pointers, despite lacking a strong outside jumper, but when the time comes that he's perfected the three ball, it might be over for all. He's one of the best NBA players today, and by the time the Greek Freak retires, he could be the best power forward of all time. Number 5. Charles Barkley. Today, Charles Barkley is known for his hot takes and predictions on TNT's Inside the NBA. But in the 80s and 90s, man, he was an incredible force. 100% nearly unstoppable. And despite being an undersized power forward, he was still very challenging to guard because of his strength and dynamic athleticism. Charles Barkley could move past guards with incredible speed, or back down opponents who towered above him to get to the hoop. Barkley's game also extended the entire length of the court. Chuck could run a fast break, take it to the basket, and dish out flashy passes to set up teammates. Aside from that, Chuck is a one-time MVP, 11-time All-NBA, and 11-time All-Star. To further highlight Barkley's greatness, think about this. Charles Barkley is one of only 7 players in the history of the NBA who compiled at least 20,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 4,000 assists. Undoubtedly one of the greatest power forwards of all time, and one of the best players to never win an NBA championship. Number 4. Kevin Garnett. The big ticket was everything you could want in a modern-day 4. His versatility, inside-outside scoring, and ability to defend at 5 different positions posed a big problem to those that guarded him. In addition, that skill set earned him many awards, including MVP and Defensive Player of the Year awards. He's led the NBA in rebounding twice, and he's also been a 4-time First-Team All-NBA, 3-time Second-Team All-NBA, 1-time Third-Team All-NBA, 8-time First-Team All-Defensive Selection, and 2-time Second-Team All-Defensive Selection. For 12 years, Garnett tried carrying the Minnesota Timberwolves until he got traded to the Boston Celtics and became a world champion, giving us KG's iconic scream,
"Anything's possible! Anything's possible!"
Number 3. Karl Malone. One of the most, if not the most, dominant power forward ever, Karl Malone relished huge success during his time as a player in the NBA. His longevity and durability are unquestionable, playing in the league for 19 years, 18 of which he spent with the Utah Jazz. The 2-time MVP was a force of nature in every sense. A beast that stands 6'9" and weighs 259 pounds of pure muscle. An elite scorer who averaged a career of 25 points and 10.1 rebounds per game, at an efficiency of 51.6% from the field. Along with that, he's third on the all-time scoring list with 36,928 points. The 14-time All-Star shared an intense rivalry with the Michael Jordan-led Bulls. Despite making back-to-back finals appearances in 97 and 98, the mailman was unable to deliver against his airness. At the tail end of his career, he'd get his last shot at the Larry O'Brien Trophy, this time with the Shaq and Kobe-led Lakers. Unfortunately, a ring was not in his destiny. Nevertheless, there is no denying his Hall of Fame status and his spot on this list. Number 2. Dirk Nowitzki, the game changer. He's the reason why bigs today are skilled enough to shoot, dribble, and pass at the number 4 position. He's well known for his versatility and scoring prowess, and his iconic one-legged fadeaway is one of the most complex moves to defend. Nowitzki received his only NBA MVP honor in 2007, averaging 24.6 points, 8.9 rebounds, and 3.4 steals per game. He later led Dallas to their first NBA championship during the 2010-11 magical season after defeating the reigning champions LA Lakers, who had Kobe Bryant, the OKC Thunder, who had Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, and the Big Three Miami Heat. Dirk is the 6th highest scoring NBA player of all time with 31,560 points. and he's the second power forward and the first European player to reach the 30,000-point milestone. Additionally, Dirk was selected to the All-NBA First Team 4 times and the All-Star Team 14 times. Lastly, Nowitzki is the first and only NBA player to play 21 seasons for one franchise. Legendary. Number 1. Tim Duncan. The big fundamental is the obvious number 1 choice, and it's not even close. He would dominate opponents with his simple, textbook skills on both the offensive and defensive ends of the court. His trademark bank shot was just unstoppable. He scored 26,496 points through his 20 seasons with the San Antonio Spurs, placing him 18th all-time in points scored. Additionally, he was a reliable rebounder and rim protector throughout his career, as he would be selected to the All-NBA First Team 10 times and the All-NBA Defensive First Team 8 times. Duncan is also a 15-time NBA All-Star and a former All-Star MVP. And in 2021, Tim Duncan joined Kevin Garnett and Kobe Bryant in being inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Easily the greatest power forward of all time.